How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Spy Family episode review recap. Today's episode is episode 24, The Role of a Mother and Wife / Shopping with Friends. And before I go any further, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified of more videos such as this. You got to click it and ding it to always on, guys. And leave a comment down below. Tell us how we're doing. And by us, I mean me. And by we, I mean, come on, talk to me. I'm very serious about that. I found out last week that this week's episode is the penultimate episode. That means one more episode to go and the first season is done, which is quite interesting. It almost feels like a second season, and it's not a second season. It's the second part to the first season. And this is one of those shows that definitely, the intro and the outros definitely give me all the warm and fuzzy. You should definitely. I advise people to watch this show as a dub, but I most definitely advise you all to pay attention to the lyrics, especially for Bumper Chicken's Souvenir. It's really, really good songs. I think that the outro for part one, if I can remember, I think it's called Comedy, because the intro is mixed up. Yeah, comedy, all up in my feelings. So, happy holidays. Let's go ahead and begin. I've already spent a minute just talking around. So, look, remember last week with the whole Fiona thing, and even though Yor won that tennis match, she still feels like bleh. So much to the point where she hits a light pole and just keeps walking. And even the ladies in the building like, "What's wrong, Mrs. Forger? You good?" And she just kind of mumbles on. And they're like, "Oh, it's got to be her husband. I know he cheating on her. I know that man cheating on her." And she's like, poor woman. You know what? Obviously an attractive man like that, fruit always attract all the flies. Literally a line in there. Yeah, if she goes ahead and reports him to the secret police like the woman in 15 did to her husband, I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously Loid hears all this and he's like, "Oh shit, mission's under jeopardy. I gotta work on this. I gotta fix this," right? And so now we kind of not flash forward yet, because he's thinking about it. He's like, "Oh, if she mentions this to her brother," because remember, Yuri's part of secret police, he's thinking about Yuri going, "Oh, I'll execute him right away." And that's actually pretty much how Yuri's personality is. Funny enough that he knows that without actually have been inside his head like Anya has. And so he's like, "I gotta fix this." Next, we see Frankie playing with Anya, like doing the Bond man thing. He's Dr. Scruff. And much like a kid, you forget that Anya is the baby. You forget she's the baby because she's pretty much insightful, probably because of the telekinetic powers. But as soon as she's kind of done over, she's like, "I'm going to sit down and draw now." Frankie gives her a multicolored pencil all in one. And he has a Frisbee for Bond. I've been saying his real name before he shows up. And as soon as I hear Borf, I'm like, "Your name is Borf now." I would have named that dog Borf. Anyway, Loid comes in. Frankie throws the Frisbee and hits him in the back of the head. He's like, "I told you, I am not a babysitter." And he says, "Look, I gotta have a conversation with Yor. It's for the mission. I can't have this conversation while the child's around." And he hands him a boatload of money. This seems to be like one of Lloyd's traits here. Hands him a big ass stack of money. And Frankie's like, "What are you, a villain? You think money solves everything?" Takes the money. Like, "All right, let's go to the park, y'all." So Loid goes out. He meets with Yor. He's like, "Yeah, let's go have some drinks, And this feels like a real date. Like, first of all, we all know they love each other, right? They won't admit it, but they know deep down in the pit of their assassinating spy souls, they love one another. So takes her out to drink. It's the same place where Frankie went to drink. And he sat down and had a drink with her. Her drink was called the Red Queen. Ooh, I like it. And he gets a scotch, a big ass ball of scotch. And Yor kind of wonders what he's gonna talk about with her. And she's like, "Oh, is it gonna be about Fiona?" And all he's done is just cheers. He's just said, "For all you do with Anya, thank you. Let's have a drink." He wants to talk to her. And when he mentions Fiona to her, she screams like, "Yep!" And everybody's like, "What the fuck's going on here?" She downs her drink and then downs his whole bottle of scotch. She's asking for that liquid courage that alcohol provides her. And it's crazy because beforehand she was thinking of a scenario where he calls Fiona up and Fiona goes, "Good evening." He's like, "Yes, I'm replacing you with her. I love her." And he says, the tea coming from him is hilarious. And so she just lets it all out, right? She says she wants him to be happy and, just tell her that she's, he's in love with her. He's asked what's his relationship with her, because she was initially going to tell him before she drank those drinks, go on and be happy, but she couldn't say it. All she could think about was her time with him and Anya. Girl, you love that family. Look at her. Anya's the best character in this show. I don't care what you say. And so the bartender's just kind of cleaning the glass. He's been chill, and he's like, man, being a hot guy must be really hard, huh? And he tells her that Fiona's nothing but a coworker. And she says, I know she's prettier than me, but blah, 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 blah. And he's thinking, wait a minute. I thought she was worried about the contract ending. She is. But she actually has romantic feelings for me. It takes him one whole second, because you see a little timer at the bottom, and he goes into Twilight mode. He's like, I'm going to do the honey trap. This fool. It's weird, because she is worried about the contract, but you both actually do have feelings for one another. So, and when she speaks with, how do I do a drunk voice? Are you already sick with me? Kind of like a Grinch voice there. And so it's very fun. This is why I love Sub so much. I love Sub so much. And, the moment he turns into this, he turns in Twilight mode, takes her by the hand, and she gets a little heart racing meter on the side of her face that's going up. And he's like, look, do you hate me? I wouldn't say that. And he's like, spending all this time with you, I've realized my true feelings. And before he can say anything further to that, her meter hits the top. She straight up kicks him in the chin. He goes flying. And he flips and lands, and he straightens up. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah!" And his legs are wobbling. He said, "The force of that kick, that was an embarrassment. That was of no feelings whatsoever. I got cocky. I am so sorry." He's thinking all in his head, and his legs are wobbling. Got a little red mark on his chin. He's trying to keep it together. He's gonna pass out, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she's talking to him, and dude he's knocked out. Now, he goes into a dream state. It's the second time he's ever fallen asleep in front of somebody. Asleep. And I already knew this, because, come on, we're not dumb here. He had a dream about his mom. He's in bed with his mom. She's singing a lullaby. As he wakes up, his head is on Yor's lap. And she's singing a lullaby, but it's hilarious because she's like, I don't remember the words. She's singing the exact lullaby. She's like, I don't remember the words. And they're on the park bench. He wakes up. How long have I been out for? Only 5 minutes. But the bartender said we're causing too much commotion, so kick us out. And he says, I've let my guard down a little bit too much. And he's like, wait a minute. Why am I using her legs? I'm sorry, he didn't say legs. He said, why am I using her lap as a pillow? You know why you're using her lap as a pillow, because you love her. Quit playing, boy. And so she says, I can get that you get sick of a musclehead woman like me. And he talks about, he's like, when I was little, I was able to fall asleep with my mom, because and sleep soundly, regardless of any moment being bombed. Actually telling his real backstory, mind you. And just being with her and her being strong helped me go to sleep. Anya always tells me that whenever she's in danger, she's not worried because she knows mama will save her. Which, if we check how many times has Yor saved Anya meter, there was a time at the grocery store with the outfit. There was a time with the guy that was going to bomb the Sea World. And she's like, oh, this guy's going to kidnap me. She kicked the shit out of that guy. Oh, what about this last time with the terrorists? I'm counting at least 3 times. At least. So that's a really good trust bond right there. And he says he's happy that she is a safe space for her. And he was thinking to himself, he's like, man, all of us agents have been working blood, sweat, and tears to try to provide the same thing that you are able to do so easily. I like this. It's very, I don't want to say black and white, but it's very black and white when it comes to the agents and then like the secret police thing. And then that's where the gray comes in, right? Because there's two opposing sides, but nobody wants war. Nobody wants war, but one side doesn't trust the other side. And it's very interesting that you do have these wise agents. All of them have dealt with war and loss. And when we go deeper into Loid and Sylvia stuff, because when Sylvia went off on those terrorists, that was just tip of the iceberg on that one. You can see they have altruistic reasoning behind what they're doing. And I kind of get the feeling that whoever the shopkeeper is for the person that calls her and gives her missions, because she believes she's doing a good thing, killing traitors and stuff. I actually wonder if those traitors are actually people who would incite more war. So it's pretty interesting. The secret police, obviously they think they're doing their jobs, but they are very annoying. Yeah, they're very annoying. Anywho, where am I here? He tells her she's very strong, and he says, it's kind of rude to say this to an unmarried woman, but you're a really great mother. And she thinks in her head, yeah, that's not the kind of strength. The strength I have is not the kind you're thinking about, Loid-san. And he says, I'm not going to replace you. Fiona is not suited for that role regardless. Imagines her with a riding crop and Anya with her small, with the big eyes and a dot face. Actually, who has a face like that? It's almost like my boy Tanjiro here. Almost like a face like that, except, with the whites of the eyes, right? Just put his pupils inside of Zenitsu's eyes over here and you'll have that down packed. Anywho, after she says that, Yor starts genuinely crying, Oh no, she cries after this point where she says, well, I only did the same thing I did when raising Yuri. And he says, that's what makes you unparalleled. You've been honing this skill since you were little. You got to have more confidence in yourself. And that's when she starts crying. He's like, I would love for you to continue being Anya's mother and to continue being my wife. And she, it's very touching. And she, with the white baby gives her a handkerchief like a gentleman. Should have put your arms around her, bro. But like a gentleman, he gave her a handkerchief. And he's like, let's go home. She's like, I'll make some tea for you, right? And Anya's already creeping at the window like, Mama and Papa are late. They're probably shacked up somewhere. Frankie's like, where did you learn how to talk like this? Mostly from Becky. Love Becky. Becky's hilarious. And they walk through the door, and as soon as Anya is about to say Mama and Papa are flirting, they see a massive welt on Loid's chin. And Frankie's laughing at it. And he's like, oh, you try to put the moves on it. And she's like, no, it's mostly my fault. Calls him a chin monster. Brings Anya closer to his face to poke it. And Yor's thinking back to, man, as long as I can remember, I've never wanted to get attached to anything or anyone other than Yuri. But for some reason, I can't let this place go. You know why you can't let it go. You love them. You love them. We're playing. Y'all play too much. Only person in the show that's super honest is Anya. The only thing she's lying about is having superpowers. Which I guess is kind of odd that she lying about her superpowers, because Yor has massive strength. And then there was a 7-year-old that was built like a freaking, what do you call him? A linebacker out of high school with, what's it called? Varsity football player. So, yeah, what is normal in this world? So, still kind of surprised she was able to make tea while still being drunk. The next day, she doesn't know how he got the welt there. She doesn't remember anything. So, they had the conversation twice. Now, let's talk about this shopping episode. In the very beginning, there's a parent meeting thing coming up soon. You have Damian and his crew, with rat face and cone head. And Anya gives us a little background. She goes, yeah, Operation Squix. Not Strix. Squix. And I'm trying to become an Imperial Scooter. But she's mostly giving up on trying to get the freaking stars, because anytime she tries anything academically or athletically, it just fails, and she cannot handle another heartbreak. So, plan B. I know I put a 2 up. B is the second letter in the alphabet. Shut up. And plan B is the friendship scheme. So she's just trying to get closer to Damian. And then Damian turns around, and the others turn around. They start talking trash about her as she's peeking her head around the corner. And she's like, I'm losing my patience, though. And here comes Becky. Love, ride or die like Becky. Everybody needs a Becky. I'm going to stand by that statement, even though I know how that sounded. And she's teasing her, saying, oh, it's hard to tell somebody you love them. And I love Anya's quick thought process. She goes, I love Papa. I love Mama. I love peanuts. I love anime. Which I hate that they keep translating anime into cartoons. Just call it anime, damn it. Love anime. No, I do not love the second son. She's shaking her head like this with those giant ass pupils. And Becky's like, oh, that's okay for you to deny. You know what? I'm going to help you. And I'm going to help you by next weekend taking you shopping. She's going to update her look. Anya and Becky are now in this big fancy car. She has a lady driver. Her name is Martha. Very androgynous looking. So good touch there. And Anya's never been in a fancy car. It's pretty chill. They both look adorable. And Becky was upset that Loid wasn't there when they came to pick her up. And she says, but his wife is prettier in person, a worthy rival. And I love that Martha, the driver, just in her mind, just goes, my lady, you mustn't commit adultery. Comedy in the show cannot be matched. Anyway, she asks about the pochette. I have no clue what that is, but Anya has a big stack of cash. Flashback to, I guess, her telling her parents about this. And Loid's thinking, ooh, to get closer to the black bells, that would actually help. That'd be a good thing for us. Just hand her a stack of money. Here you go, take this. And even yours like, oh, that much? You're going to find out that much actually isn't really a lot compared to what these rich folks do. So anyway, she's talking about allowance. And Becky's like, that's not a lot. That's why I'm like, what? Martha's like, kids these days. Shit. That's a lot of money. Anyway, goes into this massive store, and Anya's like, so how many peanuts can I buy with this? You're not here to buy peanuts, my dear. You're here to get clothes. Becky's so adorable. They walk in. There's a giant lamb mascot. All the people in this department store are waiting for her. And Anya's like, is your family really evil masterminds? Like, how much cold hard cash do you have? And she's just like, please. It's actually really nice to see her without the pigtails, with her hair down, and then wearing everyday outfits, which I've never seen. Anya barely wears the same outfit twice. That's really good detail there. Anyway, she says, actually, the shops usually come to me in the castle, but because I want to go shopping with my friend, I rented out the whole department store. Excuse me, you rented out a whole department store? That's some Bruce Wayne shit. So she wants her to try on all these clothes. The first thing she tries on is a Peanuts dress. And they do it like a fashion magazine cover. There's like Anya's fall collection. Pardon me. Clothes that'll get your classmates to love you. A telepathic girl's guide to studying. It's adorable. Funny and adorable. The song for this is great too. I need to find it. And if I do find it, I'll put it in the description down below. So going through all of the multitude of clothes, it looks nice. Some of it looks weirder. Like she kind of dresses up like an alien robot at one point. And Anya's like, fashion is hard. Like on her hands and knees, just panting. And Anya says, well, why am I getting clothes when I wear the same thing every day? Yeah, you wear the same thing every day, but at the end of the year, there's a dorm get together, right? Excuse me. There's a dorm get together, and the teachers might let us wear regular clothes, and that's where you strike. And then she thinks about the parents. She's like, oh, Loid will be there. She's like, I'm too busy getting stuff for Anya. Forget Anya. I gotta get some stuff for me. And Anya's like, shock. And then Becky goes through. Her thing is literally like a fashion show. Different clothing. The art for this is fantastic. Very well done. And she's just like, you know what? She even gets an outfit that looks like yours. Wow. And she's like, I can't decide, so I'm going to get all of it. And you see Martha, the boxes Martha starts to carry are getting higher and higher as they go through all these stores within the giant department store. Even shoes for their tiny, tiny feet. Fun fact, the creator, I think it's Tatsu. I'm just going to call him Tatsu-san. No disrespect. I cannot remember his full name at the moment. He actually intentionally draws a lot of his characters with small feet. Even the manga he did beforehand, the character that Anya is based off of, the grown woman Anya is based off of, yeah, those characters have small feet. I guess it helps to. It's a reverse Rob Liefeld. Instead of being like, I can't draw feet, just make them small and it won't matter. And that's a smart way of doing it. Anywho, Anya's dog ass tired. They're sitting eating some cake, and Anya's like, I didn't think fashion would be this hard. It's like we escaped sudden death. And Becky wonders, she's like, are you enjoying shopping with me? She looks sad. Anya instantly perks up and like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I've never gone shopping with a friend before. And Becky's reflecting on the word friend, which is funny. Before this part, this mountain of boxes, Martha said, you've bought a lot, young miss. She's like, oh, Martha, you're buried. But Martha's behind the box smiling at this interaction because Becky has a friend that is happy to be spending time with her. And Anya said, anime merch is calling my name. This is why Anya's the best character. I'm sorry. Anime merch is the best. Yeah, second Yu Yu Hakusho shirt, baby. I need to get a Bleach shirt. Anyway, so they're going through and they come to this thing with keychain plushes of sheep. And she's like, what's up with Mr. Sheep? We see the mascot earlier. Becky points to and says, well, the department store started selling wool and this thing is their mascot now. And so Anya's like, I'm going to get one so I can remember this day with Becky. You should get one too. And Becky wants to get one, but she remembers her father saying as black belts, you should only get the top of the line things. Anya's too fast for her. Anya's already gone and bought herself one and bought her one. And Becky's hesitant to take it. And Martha, I'm telling you, there's some characters in this show that are just top notch. Martha goes, not taking a friend's generous gift that they gave you would definitely tarnish the Black Bell name. I'm sure that's what your father would say. And so Becky Cakes is like, well, since I'm obliged to take it, and just takes to turn her head with a little blush on her face. And I love that Anya's like, Becky should be more honest. Excuse me. Cut right through all the BS, Anya. Cut right through all the BS. So the girls are on their way back home. Anya sleeps like Luffy. Literally giant snot bubble. Just... And Becky sleeps like a normal human being. And Martha thinks back to when Becky was younger, making 3 kids cry. Becky's being mean, saying, bullying us. You guys are brats. And she didn't want to go to Eden's college. She didn't want to associate with the common kids. And Martha had to tell her, the moment that you stop acting like you know everything about everything and everyone, and you realize that you don't, that's when you're going to start becoming an adult. And she was super happy when Becky came home and mentioned there's this really interesting girl in class, that best friend status. You need a ride or die, people. Everyone needs a ride or die. And she's very happy. She's like, I'm very happy for you. And Becky talks in her sleep saying, I'll get you something, Anya. They don't even remember why they went to the store by the mine. That's how good of a time they had. And then Anya shows her dad the thing. He's like, this costs $300. $300 is roughly 100,000 yen. 100,000 yen is 731 US dollars. She had a plushie, a keychain plushie that cost $731. Wow. Oh, and then the dog is jealous. He's like, Jello. You go, Borf, Jello. You better not tear that up, Bond. You ain't gonna get away with that one, man. And so the girls both show up. Becky catches up to Anya. They're both matching. The friendship is adorable. And they're cute. They're laughing. And Damian walks up and sees the genuine laughter on their faces. And he's looking at Anya. And he just starts blushing because she gets the little slow-mo turn of the hair. And Ratface like, what's up with you, Dave? Don't ask me what's wrong with me. I'm fine. End of the episode. The outro now features, when you have Anya, Loid, and Yor in different scenarios, different sceneries, I should say, that reflect where they came from, like her from the orphanage, him from rubble, and her from, I guess, rooftops, Batman. You do have one with Nightfall and Yuri in it, so that is new. They showed up during the little, the day in the life part of the ending, but they didn't have their own little scenes like that. So I found that interesting. The last episode is called First Contact. We're going to finally see that Hitler looking a-hole Desmond himself. Yeah, I got to give this episode a 5 out of 5. I love when we get different character centric episodes and how they interact with one of the main 3 family members. The Frankie part with Loid was great. Seeing Yor cook and hang out with that, what's that asshole lady's name? Her name Christina. Can't be Sharon. Sharon's the older one. The one who act like she was the one who tried to out her at the party like an asshole. Forget her name. And then now we have Anya with Becky. That is the top notch stuff I'm talking about. This is good storytelling. This is good laughs. This is good heartfelt stuff. 5 out of 5 on the second to last episode. Next week, Christmas Eve's episode is going to be coming out. I'm going to do my very best, like no one ever was, to do that as early as possible because it is literally on Christmas Eve. I'm very surprised I didn't take a break, but it's a good time to end it, right? Boy, I'm not looking forward to this show being over so soon, but yeah. Let me know what you think of the episode in the comment section down below. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more stuff like this. Click all so you can always get updated on this stuff. Yeah. As always, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me talk about one of my favorite animes, possibly my favorite anime of 2022. As always, be good, be blessed, wash those hands, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. And as I always say, there's someone who would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. If you need someone to talk to, if you're feeling lost and alone, reach out to somebody. My social medias are right there in that description. Just click to show more. Descriptions right there. Social medias. Follow me. Hit me up. I will gladly have a conversation with you. All right. Happy holidays to everybody. Be safe. No pushing, no shoving. It's the thought that counts. And I will most definitely see you guys next time.